made it through the month of March, and that's a major goal in and of itself. Here's hoping for a better April, yes? And we are already seeing signs of that with the rollout of the Ministry of Health and Wellness's vaccination program. In today's program, Dr. Figueroa talks vaccines, and an enthusiastic group puts their fingers to work to create masks of hope. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Let's continue flipping through the pages.
Jamaica, we are in the throes of a pandemic. COVID-19 cases are on the rise. COVID-19 related deaths are climbing. COVID-19 bed capacity at our hospitals has been maxed out. Yet still, some of us continue to flout the COVID-19 containment measures. Some of us still refuse to wear masks in public places. We still gather in groups of more than 10. We still break the curfew hours. And we still attend illegal parties. Wise up! Take responsibility for your health. Safeguard the health of your loved ones. Obey the COVID-19 protocols.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, March 31. Jamaica is to receive its third shipment of COVID-19 vaccines within the next 5 days. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the shipment is to include 75,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccines sourced through the African Medical Supply Platform.
These doses will aid significantly in the country's quest to vaccinate our elderly population, who are the ones that are most at risk.
The country previously received 64,400 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine as a gift from the Republic of India. The second batch of 14,400 was received as part of Jamaica's involvement in the COVAX facility. Chairman of the National Health Fund, Howard Mitchell, says 20,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine from commercial sources are expected to arrive in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Another 26,000 doses of AstraZeneca is expected thereafter. In a statement this morning, Mr. Mitchell said these shipments, totaling 121,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines, should ensure the NHF's ability to distribute vaccines through April into May 2021 until the supply chain stabilizes. Meanwhile, the health minister says government is pursuing other supply opportunities with the clear policy instruction that all vaccines supplied to the country must be approved by the relevant stringent approval authority. These are the World Health Organization, the European Authority, and the US FDA.
Madam Speaker, while we await approval of vaccines, the strategic posture of the government has been to make every effort to ensure that we engage with all manufacturers through bilateral or direct contact. This is to ensure that as soon as vaccines are approved, that shipments can be guaranteed.
In the meantime, the Ministry of Health and Wellness will be carrying out 25 vaccination blitz activities across the island over the next 3 months, starting April 9. This comes on the heels of the first staging on March 26 at the National Arena in Kingston, which will continue this Saturday, April 3. The announcement was made by Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton in Parliament yesterday. The sites include the Montego Bay Convention Centre, Denby Showground, Trelawney Multipurpose Centre, the Celebration Church in Portmore, and the National Arena in Kingston. Other sites have been identified in St. Thomas, Hanover, St. Mary, Portland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and St. Anne. Dr. Tufton says the ministry will continue to review other locations to be used as vaccination blitz sites.
The special approach moving forward will include working with the Electoral Office of Jamaica, as I said, councillors and MPs to assist with the identification, registration, and logistics of the movement, moving the target groups to the relevant locations. And however, it's important to note that the option to call the 888 number or to register online will always be available.
In other news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is calling for a further extension of the Debt Service Suspension Initiative, DSSI, by G20 countries to next year. The initial extension, which ends on June 2021, offers a moratorium on debt payment to developing countries as they grapple with the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Holness made the appeal on Monday while addressing a virtual high-level meeting with heads of state and government on the international debt architecture and liquidity. The Prime Minister says he believes the extra time being proposed will aid in the economic recovery of developing countries. He's also recommending that consideration should be given to expand the beneficiaries to include highly indebted middle-income countries.
Debt servicing has come at tremendous socio-economic costs to our populations, which have borne the burden of steep cuts in public expenditures. Extreme fiscal contractions are having a dramatic impact on the ability of developing countries to meet their sustainable development and climate action commitments. For developing countries designated as middle income, and particularly for small island developing states, the pandemic has exposed developmental vulnerabilities which make the designation as middle income a largely arbitrary and unhelpful designation in crafting a fair global response.
According to Mr. Holness, some developing countries are fearful of applying for debt relief because of the threat of a downgrade in their credit rating. Because of this, he says private creditors and rating agencies should be actively pursued and engaged to participate in the DSSI on equal terms.
A special framework applicable only to this extraordinary period is more than worthy of their contemplation, given the larger medium-term cumulative benefit of more countries achieving earlier recovery with sustainable debt arrangements. The utilization of innovative financial instruments such as debt swaps, contingent debt instruments, and the creation of specialized liquidity funds can also play an important role in ameliorating the debt and liquidity challenges of developing countries.
Minister of Gender Olivia Grange has condemned the recent spate of violent attacks and deaths of women and girls. Speaking in Parliament on Tuesday, Minister Grange said we cannot as a society be unmoved by these horrible events.
This cannot be allowed to continue, and those who know must speak out before it is too late. Our women must no longer be told to suffer in violence, in silence, or to expect their reward will come after they die.
To this extent, Minister Grange says the Bureau of Gender Affairs will be undertaking 4 initiatives to tackle the issue. The programs will offer support in alternative conflict resolution for men and women involved in intimate partner violence, as well as sensitization on positive masculinity and child abuse.
Many persons still see the Bureau as the Bureau of Women's Affairs, and so many of our men are not aware of this helpline. The Bureau will be taking to the streets and communities and hope to get help from the SDC to put this information by way of flyers in barbershops, bars, churches, etc., where men usually converge.
The programs will also seek to increase knowledge and awareness at the community level on the Sexual Harassment Act. Additionally, Minister Grange says the staffing and provisions of the Bureau of Gender Affairs will be strengthened to enable a more readily available and successful intervention in the affairs between women and men before the situation reaches crisis proportions. And finally, the Justice Ministry's National Child Diversion Program is reporting a low non-compliance rate of less than 3% among participants. National Child Diversion Consultant Ruth Carey says this shows that children are consenting to and are engaging in the treatment program.
Non-compliance really is only as a result of challenges as it relates, financial challenges or constraints, which the ministry now is reviewing to see how best we can support our parents and guardians and children in our program.
Ms. Carey was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. She says the low non-compliance rate is encouraging for the program, which is still in its infancy, as only 305 children have been referred to the program so far. The initiative is aimed at putting measures in place to divert children who come in conflict with the law away from the formal criminal justice system. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
As we continue to tackle the pandemic, there is still the need for wearing masks in public spaces. Government's HOPE program is playing its part by creating what has easily become part of our overall look when leaving home.
I graduate from Hope and Fashion Design Level 2. I'm currently studying Fashion Design in Level 3 at the moment. The course is about to finish March 31st, and it was put out because of the coronavirus. So now I'm here making masks. I'm here day on almost every single day, trying to make a mask, at least 100 masks to supply. So each day I'm here working.
When COVID started and when the outbreak started in Jamaica, we realized that we had no choice but to shut down all training, and especially by what we did at Hope. So we had community-based training, we had institutional-based training like you see here at this Heart Academy. When we realized what was happening with COVID and the need for wearing masks by the general public, we decided to recall some of these youngsters who had then been at home for a few weeks, not earning a stipend, not doing anything. So we recalled them and we put systems in place here, very, very strict controls to maintain this sterile environment, the sanitizing processes, and at the same time to have them making these masks.
Making these masks, these Hope program masks, these can basically benefit Jamaica by preventing the spreading of coronavirus. And I live by the philosophy where there is hope, there is life.
The Heart Trust Garmex Academy on Marcus Garvey Drive has become a tenacious player in the island's fight against COVID-19. What started as an initiative to engage numerous unattached young people enrolled in the Housing, Opportunity, Production and Employment Hope program has begun to bring hope to countless Jamaicans. The team of approximately 25 Hope trainees, 10 instructors and numerous volunteers is tasked with the daily target of producing 1,000 reusable fabric masks that will be supplied to some of the less fortunate among us.
The masks are made and supplied. We try to get them to the most vulnerable groups. So we send them to infirmaries, to children's homes. We send them to other social workers groups that are out there working in the communities as we speak. We have provided these masks to the Ministry of Health, social teams that are deployed. But there is also a number of corporate entities who have come to us because they're on the front line. Food service, for instance. As you may be aware, Island Grill was one of our biggest supporters and encouraging us to do more and get more of these masks out, and they were the first ones to come on board.
Colonel Rickman, through his ingenuity, started the manufacture and design of the Hope mask, and we naturally turned to him because of the ongoing partnership that we had. And this is our way of saying thank you. So we have brought our team down to, go ahead and feed the interns and anybody else who might have been participants in producing these things for us.
I hope it's an example for others to follow suit. I invite other entities to come on board with us, donate some masks. There are entities now who are buying masks and allowing us simply to give it away.
Each mask is sold at a cost of $350 and are done to exact specifications.
We reach out to the Bureau of Standards as well as the Ministry of Health to look at various materials, various makeup and the design of the mask. And I'm happy to say that these masks that are made by Hope, they're made with material that are already water repellent or moisture repellent, but it's made with a level of comfort. It's in 3 layers so that it significantly reduces the possibility. So it's not a guarantee, but it significantly reduces the possibility of moisture and vapor to enter into the system. Or for those who may have the virus, if everybody is wearing it, it will protect them from passing it on as well. All of these masks are made in the Jamaican colors, as you can see. And they're made because we wanted to inspire a sense of, that we as Jamaicans, we're all in this thing together. The masks are made by these young persons who would otherwise have been doing nothing at home. So they're earning a bit of a stipend whilst they're making these masks. They're doing something good for the country. They're in their own way, they're contributing, they're giving their own service back by contributing, making masks, albeit for a small stipend.
Starting a program changed me. Right now, I want to become the best fashion designer there is, if there's such thing. And I'm just here working to the best of my ability to gain more experience and strengthen my skills, and just let it take place from there.
The stipend is the starter for me. So the stipend basically started me. So now I own my own business, and the business name is For Your Glory Design. And now I can fetch for my family and myself.
I'm more confident in sewing than before because I can do a lot more than I could do before, like pattern making, jacket suits. I'm actually making masks in my community also. I'm selling them in my own community. Yeah. So fashion is a good thing for me, and did a lot. It's just me, did a lot for me.
Indoors is now the place to be. There's no admission fee, you have your meals how you like it, and for the most part, it's where we relax and surf the net. But hold on, pause. We wouldn't be the JIS if we didn't caution you against cyber stalking. Because while you are researching, purchasing, whatever it is you do online, there are those with evil intent. Watch this next feature and find out what you should do if you ever become a victim.
I'm Tony Anlati, and I am a victim of cybercrime. It started when my friends and I were in school, and we all received a friend request from a weird name. We didn't know who it was at the time, but because we all got the friend request, we figured more likely it was a real person, so everybody accepted this person. Wrong move. So everything was fine in the initial stages, but maybe like a week or two after everybody accepted the friend request, some strange things started to happen. They would send us messages, sometimes individually, or they'd send the same message to everybody just to see what kind of different responses we would have. And it was very weird, to say the least. But then after that, it's like they upped the ante a little bit to start. Well, they started to tell us things that we were doing and places that we were going and people that we were with, and it was just like, okay, do I know you? Well, we became very paranoid. It's sensitive information that this person is telling you, it's places that you never really announce it to people that you're going here. So when you see somebody send you a message to say, oh, you're here with this person and this person, you start to look at your friends now like, it's you, I know you're playing with me. You just talk the truth and let's move on. But it wasn't any of them. When everything happened, at that time we had a lecturer who was a DSP. So we started to get advice from him, asking, what to do. And at that point, he told us that the best thing to do is stay as safe as possible. And so we started to leave school extra early. But we sort of just took matters into our own hands to try and find the person ourselves. We Googled how to trace IP addresses, and that's how we found out that the person who was doing this was actually a member of the school community, or they would be attached to the school Wi-Fi at the same time that we were at school. Eventually, it stopped because we made an uproar about it in spaces where we suspected the person was. So we began to speak very loudly about it. We let them know that we would be pressing charges and we'd go out with a bag of things. We didn't know who the person was, but we figured more likely that they heard us loud and clear. To this day, we don't have a definitive answer as to who the person was. Yes, we have our suspicions. But I can't really point at somebody to say, you are the person who was doing that. And that's a little scary to me. Looking back now, I think we all would have been much better off and a lot less paranoid if we kept ourselves to ourselves and only added people on social media that you know for a fact are your friends. If somebody doesn't have a profile picture, that's probably not somebody that you want to share your information with. To everybody else, I just say be very careful on social media because things and times have changed and there are some people out there with really malicious intent. So you just have to be very, very careful, be observant, be vigilant.
What is a screen reader?
A screen reader is a piece of assistive technology that captures information from your screen and converts it to speech or as braille on a braille display.
Are there different types of screen readers?
So for the Windows-based computers, there are 3 types of screen readers that are used. There's the most famous one, JAWS, Job Access with Speech. There is NVDA, that means non-visual desktop access, and there is Narrator that is built into Windows. So for this demonstration, I'll be using JAWS. And if JAWS is already installed on your system, all you need to do is go to your desktop, press J for JAWS and press enter, and it will announce that it has been loaded. Right, so I'll be also using Microsoft Word to demonstrate how we type and how the screen reader works with us when we're typing. So I am now going to go ahead and type something, and you will hear the screen reader reading what I type, letter for letter.
I. Space F, Y, space F, A, F, E, space I, S, space spelling error, A, F, I, O, N.
Right? And if I want to hear what I type, I use the arrow keys on the keyboard and it will tell me what I type.
Hi, my name is Damien.
Hi, my name is Damien. And that was what I typed. So this is how the screen reader works along with Microsoft Word and any other program that we use on the computer. Also, for our mobile devices, yes, they too also have screen readers. So for the iOS, there's one called VoiceOver. And on the Android-based system, there is Google Talkback, and Samsung also has their own screen reader that is called Voice Assistant. So for this demonstration, I'll be using Google Talkback on a mobile phone. And how the screen reader works is if I put my finger anywhere on the screen and there's an icon there, then the screen reader will announce that icon. Let's try this.
Chrome. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press. Actions available. Use swipe up then right to view.
Okay, so the icon that I touched was Chrome. And after it mentioned that I touched Chrome, it gave me some actions that I could carry out. So if I double tap, it would have opened Chrome. And it also gave me some other actions that I could carry out if I wanted to.
Where can screen readers be accessed?
Well, for the computer, you can purchase JAWS. It's quite expensive. It's about $1,200 US for the package. You can purchase it from Freedom Scientific. Also, for the mobile devices, once you purchase the device, the screen reader comes built into the device. So all you have to do is go into the accessibility setting and turn it on.
What is a white cane?
A white cane is a device that is used by both blind and visually impaired persons to navigate their way in any open space. How the white cane works is that you extend the hand with the cane out in front of you, and while walking, It will pick up surfaces and obstacles that may be in the way.
Where can white canes be accessed?
If you're blind, you can purchase a white cane at the Jamaica Society for the Blind for $3,000.
What is a prosthesis?
A prosthesis is a device used to replace a lost limb.
Are there different types of prosthesis?
Some of the different types of prosthesis would be upper limb, below knee, and above knee. This is an example of an above knee prosthesis. The components here, socket, a liner that goes in here, which is this part, a flexible knee, stainless steel titanium pylon, a foot shell, carbon fiber blade. Those are the components for a prosthesis, above knee. Yes? I'm going to show you what below knee prosthesis is. Here we are. Again, this is your liner, which fits onto your stump. This is the below knee. Fits onto the stump, fits into the socket, which is this. Pylon, carbon fiber shell.
Tips to care for your prosthesis.
Normal cleaning tips to take care of the prosthesis would be cleaning it with a non-abrasive cleaner, such as a hand soap. And that's basically what it is. Normal adjustments and things like that will be done by our prosthetic technician at the clinic. The other part of it is easy. It's a snap in, snap out, and he's going to show you how he takes it off. So go ahead, take it off. Comes off. This is your leg. Puts it back on. Locks into place. It's good to go.
Where can I get more information or help?
More information can be had at the Surgery Prosthetic Clinic at the Sir John Goling Rehab Center, Mona, Kingston.
A production of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
We wrap the package here, an informative 30 minutes that you can access any other day. Just click onto the JIS YouTube channel and watch away. And even while you're doing that, visit our website and our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for additional information. Thanks for giving us this brief half hour of your day. From all of us here at the JIS, wash your hands, sanitize, wear a mask, and get vaccinated. I'm Theodore Henry. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.